Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I was just going to show you what I'm working on today. I got some awesome ideas. I've been watching too many videos. But anyway, there's one from Amy at Journal on a Budget. She shows how to do the flat bags. You know, just taking a regular like lunch bag. This is a little one, but you can use any size that you want, the regular paper bags. And she shows how to cut the bottom off and make it flat so that all you have is the top gusset part. I mean, it's really easy. You're just basically cutting, let me grab a paper bag. You just are getting this strip together here at the bottom where it sits if it's unfolded. Get those together, cut the bottom off, and then you're going to cut out like the front part of the flap and just use the back flap to fold up onto this part. And she goes through it all. So if you go to Journal on a Budget, her name is Amy, it's video 18 of hers, and it's flat bags with a gusset. So she just folds that part up, and then you're left with, and you can cut it whatever size that you want it. So I did one of those. And then the other great idea that I love is from Mushroom Market. The lady's name is Sarah, and she takes and uses the pages that come out of the books. So like this came out of the book that I'm going to put this journal into. So you get to reuse the pages by like turning it into journaling spots and things like that. So that's what I've done. You can just take scraps, or you know, like you could use guest checks and receipt checks and just all that, whatever, index cards, pieces of coffee stain paper. Sorry, did see today. I swear I turn on the camera and my brain just goes out the window. But anyway, so I took some pieces of origami paper and I cut frames, just different kinds, you know, whatever. I have all kinds of different stuff. The cool thing about this origami paper, and it's this brand. I got it off of Amazon. Sorry, I've got a weird glare because the sun's coming in my top two windows, and it's mostly hitting me in the chest and stuff, but you can see it if I bring this up here. So, but anyway, I got this on Amazon, and it's not super expensive, but it's not thick paper. But the nice part about that is if you're gluing it down onto your journal pages, it's not adding a whole bunch of bulk. So, but Sarah's idea is to take scrap paper and like put it on the pages, make journaling spots, things like that. She does hers different, so you should check her out at the Mushroom Market if you want different ideas. This is obviously my more Asian theme for doing this journal that I'm doing right now, but she does a lot of botanicals and cool stuff like that. So this is just giving you an idea to use up some of your book pages, to actually use them in your journals, which I love, because sometimes I feel like we pull all that stuff out and we use it, but not to the extent that it could be used. So now I can take, this is part of a signature. I did this the other day. I just put this pocket that I made with the parchment paper on, and then just stuck one of these little Chinese food bags in there. And I know most of this in here is Japanese, and this is a Chinese food bag. I like the prints and things is what I'm going for, so I'm not trying to upset anyone, so I hope I'm not. But anyway, I can take the original book page now and put it back into a signature. So I like that idea. So this is how I did it. And I wanted to do some stitching, but if you have two pages together, my sewing machine isn't very big, and so it's hard to fit it, you know, in there. I mean, I could probably do it, but I might tear it or something. So instead of stitching, and plus it was kind of a later thought, I added just some stamping. And so these are all stamps. They're those Stampin' Up! Stamps that I've been using all through this stuff that I've been showing you guys. So there's just a single straight one. And it's not perfect, but I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be kind of random and janky and all that kind of thing. So anyway, that's all I've done, is taken different papers and things, glued them on here. This is a piece of coffee filter that I just put over this so that you can write on it even with the print, and you can still kind of see the print through it, which I like. And then this is obviously some of that origami paper. This is a piece of manila folder. This is coffee stain paper. And I did take one of my little frames that I got these for Christmas from my husband. Thank you, hubby. And just put it on there. It was a different size one. And I stained around it so that it, or inked around it, so that it left the frame, you know, like that. So just some kind of cool ideas. I really love this idea of taking scraps and using them up, because there's so many times when we, like, you know, I tore this off so I can use these lines for journaling on, and then I'm left with something like this. So I used it here. And you could, you know, if you were journaling, you could write a couple addresses there if you're just trying to remember something, and then later you could put it into your, you know, address book or into your computer or whatever. So, and this pocket, I haven't decided yet. I finished this that I showed you guys the other day. I finished the last two pockets that go in here. And I'll show you what I did. I did the little waving cat. And then there's a picture of a little boy in there. He's so cute. And just a spot to journal on. And it says Artesian Style up here. And that's just from Graphic 45 paper, the Artesian Style. This collection. I don't know why I put that there, but I just liked it. So again, using scraps. I think everybody's in the mode of using scraps because we're all getting buried alive in our scraps. Here's another origami scrap with a geisha, and this is a piece of a ticket. You know how you get the one that says ticket and one that says keep this coupon? Well, I don't love using this one that much because I just like the one that says ticket. And so I just tore the top off and used it up there. And then on the back, I took the keep this and just cut off the coupon part. So I'm just, you know, using it how I want it is basically what I think is important that we all need to remember, especially when junk journaling, because we can do that. We don't have to have everything perfect. It doesn't have to be, you know, all perfect everywhere. It's the whole idea is to use stuff up, use up junk. And so this is another piece of one of the book pages that was just plain white. It was under a picture, a drawing, and that it says illustration by, and you know, all that on there. So those are the last two cards that I did to finish up this pocket that I showed in my last video, and I will link that video below so that, you know, there's something I've noticed about this pocket thing. It only really works to put them in the top one first and then go down from there, because otherwise you're hitting those slats and then you just cannot get them in there. So that's an interesting aspect of that. But anyway, so this is all finished up, and I will put it, I think I'm going to stitch it on, like I said, onto a page as kind of a flap. I just need to get some fabric and do that, but it'll be like, you know, stitched onto the side and then like this, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going for, but right now it's going to live in this little pocket here. It may end up staying there, I don't know. I kind of like it in there, but I haven't decided entirely yet. So I thought what we could work on is doing another one of these, just so you can kind of see. I mean, I'm sure you can get the idea of what I did, but anyway. I just took one of the actual pages and I did ink it, which is going to be really boring for you guys, so I'm going to pause. I will ink this one up and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. So I have inked it, as you can see, and I'm going to take a piece of paper that I've just coffee stained and glue it down what will be the spine part, just to make it a little stronger, because I did pull it out of a book and it's got holes. Not that that makes that big of a difference, but I mean, this thing has holes too, but I just figure any layers that add to it kind of stabilize it. So, and you don't have to do that. You can do it however you like to do it, but this is just the way I'm doing it. And plus it adds another, you know, added interest type thing. So, and it's not the exact same length, but I don't really think that matters that much. But if you want it the same length, you could do that. You'd have to use a different type of paper. This is that kitty paper that's like the big fat lines that you can get at like Office Max and wherever all those office type stores have it. I I got it when school was starting. And I just tore it, you know, to make it the size that I wanted. Just for some added stability, and I want it as flat as I can get it. Unfortunately, my glue is kind of drying up. I should just open another one. I think I'll do that real quick. I have one here. There we go. I think I'll try that and see if that's better. Right, so that's done. So let's start with the front maybe. And let's see, and you don't have to cover up all the writing. I mean, you can do it however you like it. So I just like this idea because you get to use up scraps, especially if you're using, like, I got origami paper to do this journal because I don't have a lot of other stuff in this style. So, but if I was doing a different type of journal, I definitely could use something else. So let's see. I kind of just like, there's already a plain spot up here, but I gotta figure out how I want this. This is always the trick. This is why I usually don't make you guys watch me do this stuff, and I just show you what I did. Because I know it can drive a person crazy watching somebody else do this. Okay, I think I want something like that, so I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna ink this just a little. Probably should have done all these first, but it just doesn't show up a ton, and it's not like their edges are, it's so thin that it just really doesn't matter, but I think I just have to ink everything before I glue it down for some reason. That is pretty white though, those waves. Okay. The back of this one's really pretty too. That's what I like about this origami paper is both sides are very usable when doing this, especially if you want a journaling spot. That origami paper is great for that. I know this is crazy, but I'm going to take my finger. I just don't want the bubbles under this, and if you wanted, you could use a brush with a little bit of water probably. I just don't want it to get too wrinkly because, again, very thin. So this seems to work pretty good. This is what I did for the other one. I'm going to start this one kind of up higher, right under that little pergola or whatever it is called. That's what I would call it. It'd be great to be able to, I don't speak any other languages. I should. I took Spanish for 4 semesters in college, but I didn't get very far with that. I struggle with that, learning other languages. I wish I was good at it. That would be awesome. And I'm going to lift this up just a little, put that kind of under there. Okay, so I know you're saying I can't journal on either one of those pieces, but I got it a little crooked. I think it's okay. But I will show you. I thought I had everything, but of course I didn't. I'm going to take a piece of pattern paper just to take that down a little bit so that you can use it. And this one's pretty plain. It's like for crib bumpers or something, so it won't be hard to journal on that because it's not super. That's about the size. A little bit better tearing on it, and you could do the whole you know, water and all that to make it tear a little bit easier, but I'm just not going to do that right now. So I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope everybody stays safe tonight. I know a lot of places will get crazy. I tend to go away from the craziness, so we're just going over to friends' houses that live further out, away from the city areas, and play some games and things. Our kids are the same age, so that's our plan for tonight. Staying away from the craziness. I can't handle all that. Now I'm just putting a tiny bit of glue because, as you know, this pattern paper you don't need a lot. And I want to make sure I don't end up with a bunch of weird You'll probably still sort of be able to see it, but I think once somebody writes on it or whatever, it's not really going to make a difference. You could even decoupage it, and then that way you know it would be down really good, and I may end up doing that before it's all said and done. I won't do it today, but anyways. And then I kind of like to take, you know, a plain one. Let's see what I got, or maybe like a guest check. I have these coffee stained guest checks. I think that would be kind of fun. I'm just going to tear it, and this way I can still use the bottom, but it does give me some lines. And that might not be very important to a lot of people. I kind of like lines, because I tend to write askew. And you really don't have to do a ton of thought. I mean, I tend to overthink things, so I get it if you're like that, but you can just kind of place it however you want to. It doesn't have to be anything perfect, and you don't have to cover every word or anything. And then I just took those stamps, like I was telling you, if I can unbury them from all my stuff here. And I mostly use the straight line one and the one with all the lines. And again, I got that in my paper pumpkin this month, so if you got that, you could definitely use it, or you can use any kind of line or random sort of looking stamp that you have. I think would look cool. You know, I kind of want one more little something. I think maybe one of these would be kind of cool. This is just cut out of a coffee stained index card. And it also has lines. So I like this because I can still see these book pages, you know. But you could do this to any paper. It's not like you can only use the book pages, you know. You could use, like, a lot of books, especially those big ones if you're making art journals, have like all the indexes and stuff in them. And what do you do with that? You don't even really want that as like a decoration for a tag or anything like that, because it's just sort of not great looking. But you could definitely do something like this with that as well, and it would cover a lot of that up. So I just like this idea. But I do like seeing some of the book page when, you know, it's something that's just normal writing. And so I'm just stamping these all over. There's really a lot of stamps. I mean, Tim Holtz has some awesome stamps, so any of his stuff would probably look really cool. I just liked this because when I go around the edges, it kind of reminds me of stitching. And like I said, this just won't fit in my sewing machine when it's open. I mean, I could put it through there like this, but that won't do me much good, will it? Because then I'd have 2 pages sewn together. So, and then I just went around with the line, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And it kind of hits funny anyway, so it sort of does look like stitching in a way. And these stamps were so random, but I really like them a lot. I've ended up using them for, well, you've seen a lot of this stuff for sure. I know they weren't very popular, but I like them. I just think it gives it an added interest. And you don't have to go all the way around every single one. Like, I can even do like something off kilter like that. Looks cool, I think. I mean, I don't know, everybody's got a different taste, so that's a good part about doing your own. Do it however you like. I think it just kind of grounds it or pulls it together or something. I just like it the way it looks. It gives you some really defined areas. I guess maybe that's what I like. So this one I'm just going to put down here, and you can even have one going like this way. So you can write down here, you can write here, here, and here, up here. I just think it's really a great idea, Yeah, so thank you, Sarah. That's an awesome idea. And I also love that bag, so thank you, Amy, for that one if you guys happen to see this. So I will keep going on these, but I don't think you guys need to be tortured with all that. It's just a really fun idea and a great way to use up book pages if you have a lot of extras, or like I said, weird things like index pages or dictionary pages or whatever. It's just kind of a fun thing to do, or even on your plain coffee stained paper, if you did some of this kind of stuff, even up at the top, or I don't know, I just think it's kind of fun. So anyway, I hope you all have a very safe and happy New Year's Eve, and Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Bye-bye.